Hey there. Right, well, it's March 30th. It is the first day of this trip. This trip to, VolcanoTrip maybe. This trip to New Zealand and Japan. I am in Tallinn. Actually, quite a bit of this trip has already passed. I woke up at about like 5 a.m. this morning, something like that. Got on the bus in Tartu at 6:30 a.m. Got to Tallinn at 9 and then walked from the bus station to the port, which is not that long a walk, but I figured I'll just walk. It's nice weather, it's nice and sunny. It's about 0 degrees, it's about freezing, 0 centigrade. It's freezing in Tallinn, actually quite warm for this time of year and sunny and very nice. So I'm going to Helsinki. I've got this 2-hour boat. It's leaving in about 25 minutes. Actually, I'm a little bit early. I've got a 2-hour trip to Helsinki on the ferry, and there I will meet up with a friend, maybe have a coffee, but then I will take the train to Helsinki airport. So this trip today, just this part is bus, ferry, train, plane. Train, plane, automobile, not quite automobile, but bus, and ferry also, and a boat. I'm on a boat. Motherfucker, I'm on a boat. And I am getting on a plane from Helsinki to Paris, from Paris to Hong Kong, where I have a 6-hour layover and have some fun in Hong Kong, and then from Hong Kong to Auckland. It is a Thursday morning. I started out at about 5 a.m. and say 6 a.m. I left the house. 6 a.m. Thursday morning. I won't be in Auckland until the afternoon of Saturday. Now this trip, it's 33 days total, start to finish, and it's New Zealand and Japan. I packed light. The only thing I actually have is, I have my backpack over there, my Haglof's Corker backpack. I can talk about backpacks later on. My Haglof's Corker backpack, my little Titan suitcase. A largish suitcase, but it's just the one, and it's only a little more than a quarter filled, I think maybe a third filled at least, at most, because I don't want to take too much stuff with me. If I need something, I figure, I have my laptop, my phone, my wallet, and my passport. That's all I need. And if I need something else, if I'm missing something, then I will buy it. I will just buy it. I have my camera as well. I'm hoping to buy a camera in Hong Kong. But I figure if I need something, clothes and things like that I haven't brought, I'll just buy it there and have a nice souvenir afterwards. Welcome to the skies above Poland. We are in a Finnair A321, and while I was sitting in Helsinki airport, I thought about one interesting thing about this entire trip is that I'm getting to try the cool new airliners on this trip, because I will be able to fly from Paris to Hong Kong and Hong Kong to Auckland on an A350, the brand new Finnair, and that's going to be pretty cool. And then from Auckland, later on from New Zealand to Japan, I'm flying Air New Zealand, and I'm flying on the Dreamliner, Boeing 787 Dreamliner. It's going to be a cool experience. Finnair, this is just an A321. Finnair has an A350, several A350s in their fleet that they use on long haul, and they also use it for flying from London to Helsinki and back, Helsinki to London. While I was waiting, there was a Qatar Airways flight landing from Doha, and there's a Doha to Helsinki flight now, and that got me thinking, because just recently Qatar Airways started flying directly from Doha to Auckland, and that's the longest scheduled flight in the world. And I was wondering if I had taken that flight from Doha to Helsinki, from Helsinki to Doha and Doha to Auckland, and they kind of line up. There's 2 hours between them, and it's I would get there at 6 a.m. local time on the same day that I'm getting there. 6 a.m. local time instead of what I'm getting at, which is 12:30. I can appreciate that, but I would definitely not enjoy being in an airplane for 17 hours straight. The Doha to Auckland flight is 17 hours. Now I don't want to be there for 17 hours, and basically I'm spending as much time as that in an airplane on this trip. But the difference is that I'm having a 6-hour stopover in Hong Kong, and I get to walk around Hong Kong and do nice things. Well, I just made it to the Airport Express. I'm going back to Hong Kong Airport. It was a really, really successful trip. I didn't buy the camera that I wanted, unfortunately. I went to Mongkok, I went to Kowloon Station, then walked to Mongkok from there. I couldn't really get the deal that I wanted. I couldn't get the camera meaningfully cheaper than I could get it back home. And I'm a little bit bummed about it, but not too much. As soon as I got into Kowloon, as soon as I started taking pictures of the skyscrapers around, etc., I realized that this system that I have set up with my pocket camera right now, with my little Olympus, just works really, really well for me. And so I would have probably bought it if I got the deal that I wanted to, which was the dual lens kit for about 5,000 Hong Kong dollars for about 600 euros. But I couldn't find that deal anywhere. I couldn't find the place that sold cheap cameras. You could do it. I'm sure you could, but you would need more time than I did. So instead, I took the subway to Central. I didn't take the Star Ferry. I have done that a couple of times in previous visits. The Star Ferry is awesome. If you have a chance, absolutely do it. It was really raining heavily, and from Mongkok to Central, I couldn't just take in the station. I sort of saved a lot of time taking the MTR, so I did. And the MTR station ticket machine would not accept the 100 Hong Kong dollar bill. So I went to 7-Eleven to exchange it, and I got something that I'd forgotten about. I'd forgotten how much I really enjoyed it, which was Hong Kong milk tea. Really, really good. I really love it. Still love it. Enjoyed it a lot. I went to Central, and then I sort of bummed around Central looking for a particular place for a while, like for half an hour or more, like walking around like these tiny little streets in the back of Central, between Central and mid-level. Which is all part of the Hong Kong experience and all part of like the whole awesomeness of visiting Hong Kong, or for Hong Kong, brief Hong Kong stopover. When you're looking for something specific but you don't know what you're looking for. And after I had been walking around there for a while, I found the place that I was looking for, which was Shingetsu, which is the first ramen place to get any Michelin stars, the first to get 2 Michelin stars. And I had some tsukemen there. Their specialty, their awesome like dipping sauce ramen, where you have the ramen, you dip it in the sauce, and then you like once you're done with the ramen, you put chicken soup in the sauce and just have that as soup. It was great. And where else can you pay 12 euros and get two Michelin star food? That is amazing. After a long day of walking around Hong Kong, I went back to the airport and got on my next flight, a 10-hour Cathay Pacific flight to Auckland, New Zealand. I got to Auckland at around 1 o'clock in the afternoon, something like that, and had quite a time going through customs, because I was bringing not just the alcohol that my friends asked me for from the duty-free, which I was happy to get them, but also another souvenir. A loaf of dark rye bread from Estonia, something that they were really missing from when they were there, and something that they just could not get back at home. New Zealand, of course, has very strong biosecurity. They are worried about food being brought into the country and introducing pests. So the airport is filled with scary notices to throw away any food you might have in your bags before you get to the security screening. If they find it afterwards, you're getting a huge fine, or worse. I go up to the security counter with some trepidation, and they just don't care. I have a loaf of rye bread in my luggage, I say. The man just stamps my paper and moves on. I guess if it was heat-treated or baked, they don't care. The border guard asks me why I'm visiting New Zealand, and there's no better answer than because it's there, because I haven't been here before. And that is good enough. The airport bus takes an hour to get me into central Auckland, and my phone now has a local SIM card so I can let my friends know I'm coming. The bus drops me off at the top of the central business district's main street, and I walk along all the way down it to the ferry terminal. For the biggest city in the country and its economic engine, the main shopping street seems rather underwhelming, but I guess my calibration is off because of Hong Kong. The street ends at the water's edge, and I just make it onto a ferry to Waiheke Island. Ilya and Jeanette Veluchin are a part of the island's artist colony, providing the authenticity that keeps property prices high for Auckland's Beaumont. I met them back in Tartu, where they spent a few months on an art residency program.
Now they are meeting me at the pier. They worried about finding me in the crowd of Saturday afternoon day trippers, but in the end it was no problem. Coming from North Europe at the end of the winter, I stand out among the Kiwis like a sore and very white thumb. They show me their beautiful home and we go to the beach for a late afternoon dip. It is wonderfully restorative. In only 2 days of travel, I've gone from walking across a frozen lake to swimming in the warm, salty waters of the Pacific Ocean. We then settle in for dinner at a local winery's hillside lawn as the sun sets behind Auckland's skyline, before retiring back to their house for very, very deserved and very enjoyed gin and tonics. It's a beautiful start to my time in New Zealand.